Hello, my beautiful friend. I received an incredible insight this morning, and I wanted to share it with you because it is simply beautiful. And I usually set up an alarm for myself at a certain time. Today it was two alarms. One at 4:50, and the other one was at 5:01. Something like that. Well, guess what? I always wake up right before the alarm, like a minute before, which is really incredible because that way my alarm doesn't wake everybody else up. And this started happening since I've cleared out my body and started following, listening to my intuition. All these types of things, they happen very often. Waking up a minute before the alarm and being completely alert and not waking others up with the sound of the phone is one thing, but there are many other things like that. For example, doing something while I'm contemplating on something, or maybe listening to a book, and then the next day I find something incredibly useful for that specific day or that specific moment already laid out for myself, by myself, ahead of time. So things continue to move very smoothly throughout the day because unconsciously I've set everything up for myself. So point being is that all of this is coming directly from my body, and it can also do so with your body, right? So we have inside of our every cell all the information of the entire world. I call this a recycled DNA theory. Everything in this world is recycled. If you think of water, right, which holds so much of the information and makes up so much of our body, all the liquids and the solids too. But water, whatever water we have on our planet, it's always here, right? It's never going to go outside the atmosphere, or no new water will come in. Everything is recycled, and so it is with absolutely everything else. So you are a combination, I am a combination of everything that has been and everything that will be, right? So we have the information of the entire universe within each of our cells. And our body, because it's collected from trillions of these cells, it is a knowing. It knows everything. I even have trouble calling my body it, but she knows everything. It has been through so many different combinations of things that it already stored all that information within every cell. So let's say as your body is being combined from different cells, from the food you eat or the air you breathe or your mother's and father's cells, it's a collection of cells that have already recycled themselves trillions of times, some faster, some slower, but they've seen it all. So your body knows everything that's going to happen based on certain criteria, right? If the circumstances are aligning in a certain way, your body knows the outcome. And very often, right, it will tell you, it will send you signals, but we are just sometimes so much in our minds, which nothing is wrong with our mind. I really don't believe in that, our mind is screwing it all up, No, but sometimes we're just not embodied. We're not in our body enough, and we're kind of just frolicking outside in our mind space, and we fail to pay attention to what the body is telling us. So being embodied is an incredible tool, right? To learn how to be embodied, because the body, this physical manifestation of trillions of cells that have already been through every process there is in the world, is very useful, because you are you get into the state of flow, and things happen like it happened to me this morning, and like it happens to me a lot when I set an intention for something, like I set an alarm, but I actually don't even need the alarm, because my body said, okay, we're gonna do that even without the tool. I am your biggest tool, right? So that happens in many different ways. I don't want to focus this video on the manifestations and on all the magical things that are happening to me, which there are so many. It deserves probably a separate video of all the in the flow things, how things unfold when you are in the flow, and all the little things that come your way as you need them. It's really truly a 5D a way of existence when you are not holding on to anything, but things appear to in your immediate 360 as you move throughout your day, and you don't need to store them. You don't need to hold on to them. You let them go, pass them on to the next person who is either in front of you, behind you, next to you, and that way you get to just enjoy the experience instead of being held back by holding on to things. But that's not the point. The point is that this incredible thing of your body speaking to you and doing things before they even happen, before they're bound to happen, it can only happen when you are relaxed. There is nothing more important in this world than relaxation, than knowing how to relax. When you are in tension, all that stored up information, it's constricted, it's jammed a little bit, right? It's still there, but it's tight. And when it's projecting from inside of you into the outer world, the signs, they become distorted, right? So your body is still speaking to you, but because it's in tension, all this information, it's being transmitted in not its natural form, its most natural, its more simple form. It's being transmitted into your immediate 360 с искажением, with distortions, and that's the way you read it, and you then misread the information that your body is sending you, and it turns into this a vicious cycle, right, of you misreading your environment, then your body getting frustrated, getting sick, getting ailments and all that type of stuff. So one of the very good things that happened to me while I was learning Pilates, which I don't know if you follow me for a long time or not, but I've been a Pilates teacher for quite a while, and I'm taking a little bit of a break from that, or maybe, well, let's put it this way. Pilates is a tool that I hold dearly in my tool belt of all the things that, all the processes that I've accumulated throughout my lifetime. And it's very useful at certain points throughout my day, throughout my life, throughout my communication with other people's lives. So it's a wonderful tool. But Pilates is not just a method of movement. And we're not going to be talking about Pilates, but it's very important because so many people are so many methods are sort of kind of, they're almost there at this important point that relaxation is important. And relaxation, the importance of relaxation was introduced to me through the Pilates principles. And the Pilates principles, I'm going to read them, even though I know them by heart, but just for the sake of not humming. We have breathing, concentration, control, centering, precision, rhythm and flow, whole body movement, and relaxation. So 9 principles, which they are backed up by, it's a theory, right? You can apply it to anybody. You can apply it to your life, to your mental body. For example, concentration, right? Concentration, you can apply to every point in your life, but it also applies as an important principle of exercise. When you're exercising, the video got interrupted because my storage is full. And believe it or not, yesterday, out of the blue, I started searching for my external storage device, my little thing that I have. I couldn't find it, and I did not upload, transfer all my new videos onto that storage device. And now I ran out of storage. But this is just goes to show me again that my body already knew what was happening, right? It knows everything, absolutely everything. So all you gotta do is just listen to it, listen to the urges, and that by urges I mean when you are clear, right? Not the urge to if you are like addicted to something, but I'm sure you understand that. Well, coming back to Pilates, what it taught me is, as I read, there are 9 principles, and one of them is relaxation. And all throughout learning Pilates, I was completely focused on breathing, concentration, control, centering, precision, rhythm and flow, whole body movement. And relaxation was kind of like, 5 minutes after everything, all of that would be relaxation. And then when I stepped away from Pilates for this past year and started expanding and expanding myself, my knowledge of other things, other methods, other skill sets, I relaxed my body, and something magical started happening. And I realized that just as everything else is very, very important, I would say that relaxation is number 1. Relaxation stands at the center of everything. And I even drew a little diagram for you here. And let me see, how can I show it to you better? Maybe I'll turn the camera this way. Yeah, let's do that. So all of these principles, the Pilates, the 9 principles, they are all supposedly, right, standing on their own. But I came to realize that relaxation, this guy, the 9th principle that we pay so little attention to, is actually at the center of it all. And if you look, we're not going to take breathing, although I can talk about the opposite of breathing and what that means. It's just, I feel like it's a little bit too early to explain it to mainstream, but there is such thing as non-breathing. There is, or suffocation, and then non-breathing would be the relaxation phase. But we're not going to go there yet. It will be too confusing, I believe. So we'll start with concentration. So concentration, we have our concentration, and we have the opposite of concentration, which is distraction, right? So concentration, the opposite of concentration is distraction. Now, in the middle of that, both of these require quite a bit of energy, right? So concentration requires quite a bit of energy. Distraction requires quite a lack of energy, but in that it's a lack of something, you're still probably feeling unease, right? So somewhere in between, you will find relaxation. It will be somewhere in between concentration and distraction, right? You don't want to be overly concentrated, generally speaking, and you don't want to be overly distracted. You want to be relaxed. Same thing with precision. Let's say precision, the opposite of precision is ambiguity, vagueness, right? So you don't want to be so if you are very precise, which you will go through this phase of being very, very, very precise in your life, right? Which will probably be something that you do after you are very ambiguous and vague and not as precise in your life, right? There's stages. Then you'll go into this stage, but precision then will bring with it again a lot of tension, right? And I call this line that goes here, it's like a tension line, right? And we'll talk about this line later. And so in between precision, being hyper precise, and hyper ambiguous is relaxation, right? You relax, and then you're a little bit of this and a little bit of that, you're somewhere in the middle. Only when you're relaxed, when you are away from this line of tension, from moving into either direction. And if we're talking about control, which is another of Pilates principles, and I'm just throwing Pilates principles, but you can really do this with anything if you contemplate on this enough. So control, the opposite of control would be yielding, right? Or subordination. And somewhere in the middle would be surrender. And surrender, to me, is the same exact thing as relaxation, right? You surrender, you relax, and then this tension disappears, right? There is no more of this tension. Let's say if we want to talk about rhythm and flow, another of Pilates principles, rhythm. The opposite of that would be irregularity, inconsistency, right? So when you are constantly in a rhythm, it can get pretty mechanical, right? When you're constantly rhythmic. Even our heart, I think, although it has a rhythm, it changes its rhythm all the time, right? So we have, if you look ever at the cardiogram, it kind of goes like this and this and this and this and this, and then it changes depending on many different things. So being rhythmic is great, but you definitely want to sometimes relax, right? Being irregular, right, when you're on vacation or whatever, inconsistent, is also great sometimes, but you can't go and do it all the time. But only through relaxation, when you are in relaxed state, you will find something in between rhythm and irregularity and inconsistency. And now, if we talk about this picture and we talk about what it looks like, right? It looks like a wheel. And when we are transcending something, let's say we are now transcending concentration, right? Or we're transcending distraction. what ends up happening is you first find yourself, let's say, in this phase, distracted, very distracted. You want to transcend distraction. You then undergo tension, some sort of a stressor happens in your life, and you begin to be hyper concentrated, right? And then after a phase over here, you're going to start to begin to relax. And when this is happening, when you've experienced both distraction and concentration to the fullest, and then you begin to relax, this tension here disappears. You are transcending. So you're moving from both ways. You're moving from this one and this one, right, to somewhere in the middle. You relax about being too concentrated. You relax about being too distracted. You're just relaxed. So you've just transcended this tension rod here, right? So what happens? Our wheel is starting to disappear a little bit, right? All the spokes in the wheel that we are transcending all these spokes in the wheel. If we're letting go of being too controlling or too subordinate, we surrender. We now took care of this spoke in the wheel, right? There is no more tension here. We've transcended this spoke, one end of which is control, the other end of which is powerlessness, helplessness, yielding, complete subordination. And we have surrendered. And surrender to me means relaxation. It's just relaxation. And same with, let's say, rhythm and irregularity. We find flow between rhythm and irregularity. We find flow. Sometimes we're rhythmic, sometimes we are irregular, inconsistent. We find flow within that, and to me, that means relaxation. And again, if we transcend this tension between ambiguity and precision through relaxing, we don't need to be too precise, right? It's impossible to be too precise. We can try to reside here for a little while, but we soon realize that, you know what, that's not so cool, not what I really want from my life. But nevertheless, I don't want to be too ambiguous or too vague with my things, right? So you relax about, you find a point of relaxation between wanting to be precise and being too ambiguous or vague. And guess what? So when you do this with all these aspects of life, what happens? You erase the wheel. You erase the wheel of samsara, or however you want to call this wheel that keeps us going round and round in circles, right? We transcend the wheel and we find ourselves at the center of it all, and we have just no lines, complete zen, complete relaxation. And when this happens, whatever you've transcended, whatever you've came into balance with, it's going to start projecting itself out through your body, outward into reality. However it comes through, right? It's not going to be anymore black and white. It's just going to be all sorts of different shades of gray, different colorful shades. And this is when you reach this point is when your body begins, well, it's when you reach clarity through relaxation, when you are able to read what it is your body is telling you without a doubt. It's an absolutely incredible experience. And anytime you have any one of these that are still not transcended, they're still moving you. They're still moving you, right? They're still spinning you. And you definitely want to transcend it. So instead of moving two directionally back and forth, you can start moving inward and outward and expand and contract and expand and contract. And you can always go deeper within, or you can go further out, but you're not going to be in this wheel of samsara where all these spokes are still there, and that's what happens, right? We think of the wheel as being like this great invention, but it created movement when sometimes it's important for us not to move, but to actually be within, to be in the center. So the wheel is a great invention in many ways, but it also, just like everything else, right, is doubled, is a double-edged sword, where it gives us movement. These spokes, right, they create a wheel, they give us movement, but they take us away from the center, which is also a beautiful thing. That's what we're here for, to transcend the wheel, to enjoy the journey, to enjoy the ride, and then transcend it. Well, I hope you enjoyed my insight here, and let me know what kind of cool things has your body, your all-knowing body, set up for you that you were like, wow, did that just happen? I'll share something with you. What will I share? I have to think about it. And I'm thinking right now that I can't really focus on that because I have to transfer my videos now onto the card, and I'm like afraid that the message will pop up again saying storage full, which is so incredible. I haven't had full storage in such a long time. So since I'm thinking all about that, I'm probably going to go ahead and do that and just relax and not try to force anything else to come out. And when it comes, I will record more videos and let you know about my cool experiences. But please do share yours with me, because I know how magical it is, and sometimes there is no one to share it with. So let it be me, let it be us, let it be these comments below. All right, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I love you. Bye.